folks, and welcome to their Saturday morning Samoflange. It's just me. Benjamin's very busy with our show that we're working on, coming soon. As of this video, I'll be close to getting off my diet. I decided to do a diet after I got back from my friend Jeremy's wedding. I did that because my tux that should have fit me was very tight. And I knew it was coming because the belt loop had loosened up to back to almost where it was. Not where it was when I first went on the diet early this year, but I'd already lost 2 belt loops. I've already given up on 2 belt loops, And so I knew I was getting a little bit thicker. And I decided, I wait till January and do a hard one. But I said, you know what? Let's do a soft 6-week one. There is something hardcore about it I'll mention in a minute that I've been doing. But let's do a soft, just one for 6 weeks instead of my regular 4 months. I go super hardcore, man. I start in January and do not get off it till like mid-May, or May, around May or something. So I am super hardcore. Like I haven't eaten my daughter's birthday cake in years. I don't know if I have had their birthday cake because I've been on this diet for so long. But I do a super hardcore diet for about 4 months out of the year. We've talked about this on this podcast before, actually. Benjamin, no, I still was on it in May. I'm stepping off of it in May. And Benjamin had brought me happy birthday donuts, but I couldn't eat them yet. I couldn't eat them till the next week. So I had to give them to my family, which greedily ate them. And then I ate some a couple of days later when I finally got off the diet. So I always go on a hardcore diet. Now, who knows? Now that I'm going on this diet, I might not need to go on that big of a diet in January. Maybe do another mini diet for 6 weeks or at least 2 months, maybe. Maybe that's what I'll do. But I'm all about doing the diet. Now, the real reason I'm doing this diet is, like I said, getting a little chub on me. Didn't like it at the wedding. I also hated the fact that I was craving soda so bad. At Jeremy's wedding, they had beer, liquor, and water, and all I had was water. And I made everyone move their car out of the driveway so I could get my car out and go to the gas station down the road and buy a Coke or an energy drink. And then the next day did the same thing, And, for all 3 days did the same thing. And then I realized, well, do I have to have one? I feel like my body has to have one. So that's a caffeine addiction. Got to get rid of that. So can I get rid of even zero cola, zero cola, which usually is allowed on my diet. That's my little treat. Since I can't have dessert, I have a little glass of, zero, Coke Zero or something. But even that is off limits. All cola, even the zero, I drink the 0-cal, 0-carb energy drinks. Those are off limits. Every soda is off limits to me. And so far, I can tell you it's easy. It's easier than I thought because I made a promise to myself that if I ever was craving a soda, because I really was concerned, because on the weekends, I definitely have an energy drink. I don't have one every day, but Friday, Saturday, Sunday, guaranteed I have one. Start my day. It's my super distinct love to sip on an energy drink for most of the day. And then have colas at night. That's my dessert. And I said, if I ever want to do that, then I have to penalize myself and not eat for an entire day. That was my deal with my body. However, thankfully, I've drank way more water than I've ever had in my entire life. And I want soda. I want a soda right now. But thankfully, I have the willpower to say no. It was easier than I thought. And let's just put it that way. Even though I can feel myself just wanting one, but I can easily say no. I can easily pour soda. I even poured soda for my wife tonight. Yeah, it looked yummy. I knew how it tastes, but handed it straight over to her. I'm not going to touch it because I'm on the diet. Well, like I said, I got my blinders on when I'm on this diet, man. Don't do it. So trimming down, but also the reason is we have our annual Santa Bowl coming up in December. I am getting a little pudgy. My nephew hasn't noticed that, but he keeps saying, you better get in shape, boy. You getting in shape. He knows he's going to win again because I only gathered, 10 people? And I don't have any. He's telling me, oh, yeah, there's a lot more people you're going to get this year because we lowered the age. But in all actuality, he knows I'm only getting maybe 2 or 3. So I'll have 13. Historically, when the adults do not have enough, we need at least 18 to 20 people because we need to rotate in and out. And that's how we won. That's how we beat the youth for so many years, because we rotated in and out. The youth don't believe me. They think we cheated or they made stupid plays. Yeah, they made stupid plays, but we never got burned out. We never got tired. As old people, we were able to switch in and out. They weren't. They were playing Iron Man football out there, and we were switching out every possession. And it was great. And the one time, I remember the first time that we only had 11, all the adults ignorantly cheered, and I went, guys, this is bad. They went, no, finally, we get to play Iron Man like we always wanted. And what happened? They got gassed in the first half, and we got blown out. And it's historically happened. When we don't have that, I think the magic number is like 16, 18 or something like that. We have to have enough to have subs in constantly. And when we don't have enough to have subs, it has always been an automatic loss. And if we have 13 on our team this year, it's going to be an automatic loss. However, I want to get in shape. I am my nephew said I was the second fastest on the team. I thought I was third fastest out of the 10, and then at the second half, we had an 11th player come on. So I like the idea of being the second fastest. My nephew swore to me I was the second fastest because he put the second best guy on him, on me. He said, that's why we thought you were the biggest danger, the second biggest danger. I said, oh, thank you. So I went from not a danger on the old Santa Bowl League to now I'm one of the fastest. That's not good for the adults if I'm the fastest. But got to be alive on my toes. Can't be carrying around 20 extra pounds. Much better if I can, get some of the lead out of my stomach and start moving. And when the holidays strike at Halloween, which is coming up soon, I got to be in prime shape because, yes, I am going to eat some Halloween candy. I am going to taper it down. Yes, I am going to pig out at Thanksgiving. Sorry, no regrets, pig out. But if I can keep it steady around the Christmas holidays, because it's only the second week in Christmas when we play, I can probably make it without gaining too much of the weight back. Plus, January, back on the diet. However, depending on how much weight I can lose, I don't measure myself. I measure myself in belt loops. So I've already gained back a belt loop, that I'd lost earlier. I had to tighten the belt a little bit. I'm still not where I was by the end of by May. I'm still not at that point. I'm one very excruciating belt loop away from doing that. However, I'm happy with the progress I made. And if I can keep that progress going to the end of the year, then I may just do another 6-week no soda diet and see how that works. And what does that mean? That means lean meats, chicken, fish, and green veggies, and that's it. Eggs. I do eggs all the time. I love eggs. But that's my diet. I never get rid of, I never, ever get tired of eating the same thing. I can do this. My body's locked in on it, and I love it. I love the results afterwards. So I never complain. Boy, that was a long story there. But I'm just excited, I guess, because I'm almost off the diet. Anyway, just a couple more weeks to go. Or no, it's next week. I can't remember. Anyway, either way, it's going to be close to Halloween. I think the week of Halloween is when I'm officially off. I'm going to start stepping off of it is what's going to happen. It's going to get easier because you don't go full throttle after you've been, eating a limited amount of food. You slowly incorporate, cheese, dairies and fruits and everything else into the diet, grains and carbs, and then you get with sugars. So it's a slow process to wean out of it. But I'm even quickening the step. Usually it's a month long on my regular diet that I step up off the diet. And this time it's all going to happen in 1 week. I'm just going to slowly just ramp back up because this is like a mini diet, like I said. Long explanation. Didn't get to my topic. Here I am finally, Yay, 9 minutes in. Finally getting to the topic. Yay for me. Folks, it's about sales. Sales movies. I love sales movies. I was a salesman. There's a lot of sales movies I used to tell people to watch. There have been some other sales movies out there. I've enjoyed them, but they're not all the best, okay? And it's hard to make a good sales movie. There are some great ones, though, by the way, and a lot of you can already guess what those great ones are. And yes, I am going to nail, I think 3 of these, definitely 2, will be no surprise to anyone. I think there may be 3. That may be no surprise to anyone. Like, I don't, Benjamin, even if he could come today, I don't think this is up his alley. This is one that I've had sitting for a long time. If Mikey ever came back on the podcast, because I think Mikey could do it for me. But a lot of people don't look at sales movies as a genre. But I did because I was in sales for so long. I love sales personally. I don't do it because it's high risk, high reward. Like, you could be making tons of money one day, but if it's a bad month, you won't pay your bills. You cannot pay your bills. I can't live off of that anymore. If it was just me, I'd probably be doing sales. I love talking to people. If I believe in the product, I can sell it. Got a lot of enthusiasm. And I can starve myself if I had, and I know when to save money. But the thing is, I can't be that irresponsible with a family. So have to have a steady job. But I love sales. I always love the excitement of it. You hate the lows. You love the highs. It's just great. Anyone who's been in sales knows exactly what I'm talking about when I say that. At DirecTV, I made whooping amount of money. I was making at the very least, back in the mid-2000s, $5,000 a month, easily. And then right before they made me manager, I think I made close to 10 that month. And I was like, holy crow, I'm going to get, and I remember thinking, this is a 6-figure salary. I'm going to start making 6 figures. And I felt like this is awesome, And right as I got that $10,000 check, that's when they said, hey, we need to promote you. And that meant demote me because you make less money. You get guaranteed money as a manager, but you make less in revenue. And I was like, oh, I was so bummed when my check started coming in. They were still nice. And I eventually ended up making the exact same as what I made on the floor with with zero worry. A lot of it was guaranteed. Some of it was coming in residuals. But it was a couple thousand less. So I was super, super disappointed about that. However, though, I enjoyed my life in sales. It was good. There are a lot of movies I saw. There were some TV shows that I enjoyed that dealt with sales. King of Cars was a really fun reality show about cars. I remember our boss at DirecTV got us hooked on it, and I thought it was really good. I'm sure it's streaming somewhere because everything's streaming these days. But for movies that had sales in them, what were they? What were some of the best ones? I am positive. I didn't look this up. I didn't even do an internet search. So I guess people are going to tell me in the comments if maybe there's something I don't even know about. If I would have made this list years ago, it probably would have been exactly the same. The only thing that I could think, I'm going to type this in just to do a Google search live right now. There's only one newer movie that I added that I wouldn't have had back in the day because it hadn't come out. Sales movies. We'll see what else is on there. If there is one that's better, I'll be interested. Let's see. There's the one I wanted. They have Air on here, the Nike story. It was interesting. I would not put that in my top 5. They have Pursuit of Happiness, based on the true life story. Good. I love it. This one, I can see where it sells, but The Founder by Michael Keaton, based on the McDonald's story, it's good, but I don't know. And then let me see. There's a few more. There's a few more that are on my list here. And looking at the other ones, no. Oh, there's one. I'm shocked that one's on my list. The other ones, no. Some of these I've seen, and yes, they are decent, but do they beat any of mine? No. Jerry Maguire's about an agent selling himself, really, but no. It's a good movie, but I wouldn't say that was a good one. Oh, one that's not on here. It's not about sales though. It kind of is. I loved Mad Men. I'm just looking at some of these. It's making me think about it. I love Mad Men, the TV show about advertising sales. That's a TV show though. And it has this, when I'm looking at best one, does it have all of them? It's missing one. Wow, it's missing a big one on here. It's missing my number 1. Maybe they don't consider it sales. Wow, that's interesting. Anyway, all right, so back to the point at hand. And by the way, all of these I'd watch in my lifetime again. I'm pretty sure I'll watch all of these. But number 5, the newest one that I could think about that was good, was Wolf of Wall Street. That was really good. Surprising. I'm not a Leo fan necessarily. He's done some good movies, but he is not infallible. In fact, a lot of his movies I can't stand him in. He's a good actor, I guess. I just don't like him. But this is one movie that he nailed it. All the other characters in it were really good, and it held my attention the whole time. And the whole time I was thinking, man, this is a solid sales movie, and I absolutely loved it. I guess a sales movie's got to have good quotes in it. I like the "Sell me this pen." That's great. That's a great line. I mean, obviously it's, classic salesmanship there. But I used to quote some of these movies. I used to act out some of these movies I'm going to talk about here. But Wolf of Wall Street, really good movie. I think this is Martin Scorsese. I'm not even a big Scorsese fan. But this one, nailed it. Got to be honest. Matthew McConaughey, brilliant in it. Brilliant in it. Another reason why I liked it so much. Everyone was really good. Everyone was top notch in this movie. This movie is worth it. Number 4. Number 4 is one that no one talks about today. And no one's going to get this one. But this is one you have to see. It is Kevin Spacey, Danny DeVito, and I believe Thomas Jane, The Big Kahuna. It's excellent. In fact, number one of all the movies I want to rewatch on this list, Big Kahuna is at the top. Even though there are 3 movies I think are better. But Big Kahuna, obviously, they're ready to pitch The Big Kahuna on a big sale, but they got to get this sale. It's desperate to get it. And I just love it. I love the characters. The acting is great. I remember, I can see Danny DeVito saying his lines again. And it's a lovely film. I know it's streaming somewhere. But like I said, out of all these movies, now that I think about it, this is probably the number 1 movie I want to rewatch. Even though I do know that there are 3 better movies. But if you didn't have The Big Kahuna on your list, don't worry about it. A lot of people, I never hear people talk about this one a lot. You may have forgotten it. Maybe you rented it a long time ago and you forgot it was good. And now that you remember, oh yeah, I need to see that too. If you've never seen it, I think it's a good movie. I think it's a great movie to see. So Big Kahuna, my number 4. Number 3 is one that everyone has on the list. Anyone who knows sales movies will have this. In fact, it's so good. It probably could be people's number 1. I'd be shocked if people did not have this on here. That means you did. If you watch this movie and you said that wasn't a good sales movie, then I don't know. You have no taste in movies. Glengarry Glen Ross. Ross, Alec Baldwin. I'm trying to think who the main guy is. Protagonist is from Grumpy Old Man. Jack Lemmon. Man, this movie sings. Nothing really. It's not any elaborate sets. It's mainly them inside. They're just deadbeat salesmen calling deadbeat leads, trying to get some sale. They're desperate to get any sale because they want the Glengarry Glen Ross files. And those are the high dollar clients. Those are the great sales. But to get them, they must get one of the ringers to buy their product. And it's not a comedy. In fact, you can feel the stress. Jack Lemmon has to have this sale. He's desperate for the sale. There is some great lines, some excellent lines that Alex Baldwin does. It's Alex Baldwin's best film by far. And it is just a classic. It's a classic and salesman movie. We used to quote this all the time on the sales floor about it. Everyone loved Glengarry Glen Ross. It's still a classic today. Is it Jack Lemmon's best? Maybe. Jack Lemmon did a lot of old classics that were excellent. One of the movies I also loved him in his later years was Grumpy Old Man and Grumpy Old Man. So hilarious. Those are other movies I'd want to rewatch someday. But Glengarry Glen Ross is solid all the way through. Solid all the way. Anybody who's worked at a stressful sales job will automatically connect to these characters. Automatically. I've been there before. You're on your last leg. You got to make a sale. Times I've been in sales, I'm like desperate. I need this one sale, or I'm gonna miss out on that big bonus or something. And so you're desperate to find anyone, and you are calling deadbeat people just to see if someone will say yes. That desperation hangs into this movie, and they do such a good job at it. Like at the same time, you're just so worried because you feel so hopeless for them, and those characters feel hopeless. And you're like, Matt, why would I want to watch a movie that makes me feel hopeless? Just watch it. Classic. Okay, I'm going to get more excited the more I talk about these. And I'll be honest. Glengarry Glen Ross was in contention to be my number 1. It was in contention to be my number 1 sales movie, but then I thought, no, these 2 are better. And I even have, I'm looking at my paper now, I even have these scratched out. When I first made this, I went, oh, this one's number 1. And then as I kept thinking, I was like, no, No, it's number 2. Number 2, Boiler Room. Boiler Room is amazing. I can't remember I know Ben Affleck has a little cameo in it back before he was known, but he wasn't like big starring and everything. He's more of a supporting actor in this. It's about a bunch of people in a high pressure sales job, and it's a perfect picture about salesmen. They all drive the nicest cars. They have the nicest house. One of my favorite, there's 2 great scenes in Boiler Room. I'm just going to spoil this for you, just these 2 great scenes. Ben Affleck drives the super nice sports car. He has the super nice house with a beautiful yard. Inside is one couch that I think he even sleeps on. It's this big empty room. It's this big empty house with a TV and a video game console. So when he gets home, he just grabs whatever's in his fridge or grabs leftovers on his way there and just plays video games on his couch that he sleeps on too. He has no furniture. He just got the material things. He needs the cool car. He needs the cool house for the look. But inside, he is empty. He really doesn't have any. He's not using his money right. He's not creating a home. It's just all a facade. The imagery is so powerful because the guy kind of starts looking around the house and there's nothing else in the house. It's just an empty house. I love that. And with just a couch and they're all playing video games on it. It's beautiful because he's kind of like one of the sales team leaders too. He's some guy in authority too, but really lives a fake. He's in it just for the look. I love that imagery. This movie's beautiful. Another one is Ben Affleck's speech to the new hires. I think it's at the beginning of the movie. He throws his keys on the car. On the table. They kind of slide across the table. He's like, you see that? I drive a Jaguar X whatever, or whatever the car was, Talking about that. Talking about how he's a big salesman. And I remember explicitly at DirecTV, me and my boss loved watching that movie. And I was kidding with him one day because we did group hires, just like they did in Boiler Room. It was a high pressure sales job, man. You made thousands of dollars a month. Like people did hit $5,000-$10,000 a month. Not every month. I think only me and one other person. No, there was one other guy that got 10,000 one month. He had a magical monster month and got 10,000. But most people's highest paychecks were around 5. Mine was too until I figured out, hey, if you sell warranties with all these, you'll make double your money because warranties we got a bigger commission on. And and not many people like to sell warranty on DirecTV. But either way, which now doesn't exist since the company doesn't exist. Well, ouch. Those people who bought those warranties. Oh, well. So what? Right? What's done is done. C'est la vie. Feel bad for them, though, now that I think about that. I've just now thought about that. But anyway, were these guys probably driving nice cars, probably living in nice apartments, but probably didn't have much furniture and probably didn't have anything in their fridge but beer and condiments. They just went out to eat every night with their big money. They just wasted their money. And so that imagery, but we would hire group people. We couldn't hire fast enough because sales is a revolving door. If you're good, you stay, you make money. If you're bad, you're out. You're out by the end of the month. We can't keep you. You're a detriment to the calls that are coming in. You're just pissing away money for us, so we don't need you. So we'll spit you up and chew you out. And I was dead honest with everyone. I said, this is a sales job, folks. That means if you're good, you'll make thousands of dollars a month guaranteed. Guaranteed. I said $1,000 a week even you can make. However, if you're bad, after 30 days, you're gone. I said, we'll give you the tools. We'll give you the training. We'll give you the know-how. But you're the one who has to do it. You're the one that has to lead yourself to it. It was a great job. I love that job. And I respected people. I'd walk out the door and say, if anyone wants to leave right now, go ahead. I don't think anything. And when people would walk out, I didn't think worse of them. I shook them. Thank you. Because I didn't want to waste their time and I didn't want them wasting mine. And then we sat in, did group interviews. I mostly hired all of them. Sometimes I would only hire a certain amount. But I hired a lot of people. Either way though, after it was all said and done, I had such a great time in that thing. But watching Boiler Room, I told my boss, I said, I should really just throw my keys down the conference table and say, I drive a Toyota Camry. And we started laughing. And like how funny the image would be because of Ben Affleck's speech. And I remember now I can't quote it, but back in the day, I could almost quote the exact same speech. And I remember I went through the whole thing, of course, changing things up for comedic timing. And my boss was rolling. He about fell out of his chair. He was laughing so hard at it. He said, dude, that'd be so funny. And I so wanted to do it, but I know that would confuse the heck out of all the people. But we had a great time doing it. And Boiler Room was a huge inspiration to me as a salesman, which is why it's number 2. Number 1, it's easy. It's Wall Street. Get out of here. Greed is good. Goodness gracious. Michael Douglas, best movie. Even the sequel, not as good as the first one. But when that character gets out of jail and, starts back his life again, Michael Douglas didn't lose any steps. But again, the original is the best. I wanted to put Wall Street 2. Was it Money Never Sleeps or something? But I felt like it wasn't as good. It didn't, like even the lowest one here, Wolf of Wall Street, probably beat it out. But I'd watch the second Greed sequel. I would watch that sequel again. But Wall Street, Charlie Sheen, Michael Douglas, and life doesn't get better. Life does not get better than that. In fact, dude, if I did a top 5 Michael Douglas, I'll have to think about this. But Wall Street would definitely be on there. That's it. A bonus one for the next time I do this. I don't know when I'm gonna come back, but I'll do a bonus Michael Douglas top 5. I could easily ramble those off because I think he's done so many excellent movies in his time. But Wall Street would definitely be on that list, by the way. And Wall Street is just perfect. It's perfection. I did watch this many years ago. I need to rewatch it again. It is unbelievable. I know Charlie Sheen was having some personal issues back in the day, and so that's probably why they didn't have him in the movie for whatever reason, or maybe he was working on 2.5 Men and couldn't do it. But it would have been nice. I think maybe he didn't make a cameo. I can't remember. Maybe he made a cameo, but it would have been nice if he was a bigger part of that movie, trying to stop, Michael Douglas's character after he got out of jail or whatnot. But either way, Wall Street, every line in that, classic. What was this, a 1980, early 80s or mid 80s thing? And it's just so relevant today. It is so relevant today. And you could tell Michael Douglas was just eating up that character, man. Beautiful stuff. I love Wall Street. Like I said, Boiler Room had just, I changed them because Boiler Room had great memories of me during DirecTV. That movie and me were hand in hand. But when I think about it and compare it to, and I think if you know sales movies, I think everyone would have had Wall Street, Glengarry Glen Ross on there, and you either would have had Wolf of Wall Street or Boiler Room or both. Now, maybe I'm wrong. There are some other sales, like the ones I just looked online. Those are sales. You can consider those sales movies too. And those are great movies. And I wouldn't argue someone's in their top 5. However, I would be shocked if Glengarry Glen Ross and Wall Street weren't in there. And, or maybe you don't like Boiler. I think Boiler Room would be in there too. Maybe it's not that big a deal. Maybe people have forgotten that movie over time. Big Kahuna, I understand. I don't know if anyone would pick the Big Kahuna. I think if you watched the Big Kahuna and then came back and went in the comments and said, Big Kahuna is one of my favorites, that means you just recently watched it because you don't remember it or you never saw it before. And that's the thing. I'm trying to make a short list of movies I want to rewatch. 'Cause I've been rewatching a lot of, was it last month I watched The Vanishing again with Kiefer Sutherland. Excellent. Jeff Bridges, excellent movie. Jeff Bridges, probably do a top 5 on him too. Maybe top 5. It'll be a top 5 on a few actors. Maybe that's what I'll do next time. But for sales movies, folks, let me know. What were your favorite sales? If you're a salesman, you had to have watched these in your life. If you sold anything for a living, I refuse to say that you didn't see any of these. Now, maybe some of the young people, I'm talking about a lot of older movies. And besides Wolf of Wall Street, you haven't seen any of these. If you like good movies, I think all these movies are good when it comes to sales. And there's something about that dynamic. They don't make those many movies. In fact, I was appalled to see they haven't made a baseball movie since 2019. Not talking these direct-to-DVD, low-budget sequels, but like a kind of a motion picture that came out with a semi-relevant star. And I was like, oh my gosh, are baseball movies dead? Sales movies are kind of in that same category. But anyway, let me know your favorite sales movies in the comments below, and I'll see you next time on Saturday Morning Samoflange.